Hello and welcome back into the channel. I'm so excited to be before you all today because I wanted to talk to you all about what the Lord has called you to do, because many of you, either you're already walking in what the Lord has called you to do for a long time, right? Or you just started it, you just started doing something the Lord has called you to do, or you know the Lord has called you to do something and you haven't started down that path yet. I want to tell you something that is so real and so true that not many people talk about when it comes to what the Lord has called you to do, or when you start walking in that thing, right? You are going to look crazy. You're going to look crazy to the world. You're going to look crazy to, people who are in the world. And sometimes it's not even just worldly people, but you're going to look crazy to people in the church. You're going to look crazy to people in your family. You're going to look crazy to your friends, people who are close to you, people who are religious. They're just not going to understand it, right? They believe in the Lord, but they're not going to understand it. You're going to look crazy. And some of you have already experiencing this. People aren't going to take you seriously. People aren't going to support you. And some people will openly tell you that they don't take you seriously. Some people will openly tell you that they don't support you. And some people may not openly tell you that they don't support you or take you seriously, but you'll see it in their actions. You are going to look crazy. Some people just want to understand it. And there will be another point, there will be massive, hear me when I say this, there will be massive opposition from the world. Massive opposition from the world. And what that means is that, what's considered normal in the world, what God tells you to do isn't going to align with that, right? It's not going to make sense to the world. So you're going to receive massive opposition from the world. There will be people who will flat out tell you to just give up and quit what the Lord told you to do and go do something that's considered normal to them. But what's considered normal to God, it makes no sense to the world. You have to have eyes to see and ears to hear what the Spirit is saying according to your life, according to the will of God for your life. So you will receive massive opposition from the world. I did a video almost a year ago, actually, and I was explaining to you all how what the Lord tells you to do, it doesn't make logical sense. And just because it doesn't make logical sense to you at that moment in time or to people around you doesn't mean that it doesn't align with the order, God's divine order for your life, right? Or for God's divine will for your life. Just because it doesn't make sense to you doesn't mean that it doesn't align with God's divine order for your life. And please know that even though there will be massive opposition from the world, one, expect that and don't let it deter you. And two, understand that even though there will be massive opposition from the world, there is a window of favor, right? There is a portion of favor that God will put on your life just for doing what it is that He told you to do, no matter what the world is doing, right? No matter the opposition that God is throwing at you. And He doesn't need, that the world is throwing at you, sorry. And He doesn't need to understand this. The Lord doesn't need the world to elevate you. He doesn't need really anything from the world to elevate you. The Lord can use one person. The Lord can use one moment in time, right? The Lord can use one video, right? The Lord can use one opportunity. He doesn't need the entire world to see what you're doing, to agree with you, to elevate you. He just needs one person. So there's a special favor over your life when you're doing what it is the Lord called you to do. And the opposition is going to be pressure, right? It's going to be heaviness. But understand that when you're doing what it is the Lord called you to do, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And there's a special favor over your life, meaning that no matter what, you're always going to be in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, because there's a favor over your life. There's favor over your life. And what reminds me of this is the story of Ruth, right? I was studying that story and I was thinking about it. I'm like, Lord, what made her decide to go with Naomi? Because she could have chosen not to, but because she chose to do what it is that the Lord was leading her to do, that she felt in her heart, the desire the Lord placed in her heart, what she was led to do, she was at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. And from her, kings were birthed. From her, David was born, right? Not from her directly, but she birthed a lineage of kings. And so it's the same thing with Noah. I'm reminded how Noah, if he decided not to build the ark, what would have happened? If he decided to agree with what the world was saying, what made sense to the world, what would have happened? But because he decided to do what it is that the Lord called him to do, there was a special favor over his life, right? There was a special grace over his life, right? The same thing for you. Because with Noah and Naomi and Ruth, both situations, neither of it made sense. None of it made sense. With Ruth, it didn't make sense to follow Naomi because she was leaving everything she was familiar with, right? With Noah, it didn't make sense to build the ark because there was no rain. So what the Lord calls you to do, a lot of times it's not going to make sense to the world. And get this, people say that Noah was building the ark for anywhere from 55 to 75 years. So that means he was doing what the Lord called him to do for a very long time. For a very long time. Before the world was able to see, okay, this is what the Lord was doing. So understand that you're going to be doing what it is the Lord called you to do for sometimes a long time, sometimes an extended period of time, and you're going to look crazy for an extended period of time, and people aren't going to understand it for an extended period of time. But you will always come out on top because there's a special favor and grace over your life. And the Lord doesn't need the entire world to elevate you. All he needs is one person. All he needs is one event. All he needs is one door of opportunity. And all it takes for that to happen is for you to be in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. And all of that aligns perfectly without you even trying, just by you saying yes to the call of God on your life. So understand that you will receive massive opposition from the world, and that's normal, and that's okay, because there's a special favor and grace over your life. People will call you crazy. You will look crazy, and some people won't even say it, but you'll just see it in their actions. People will naturally fall away, and that's okay, right? What is the saying? Rejection is redirection. So when people are rejecting you because you're doing something the Lord called you to do, that's just the Lord redirecting you into a place in a season where there are people who will accept you, right? Where there are people who will honor what it is that the Lord has called you to do. So don't be deterred by the opposition. Don't be deterred by people not supporting you, because that's the goal of the enemy, to bog you down with things of this world, right? With rejection from the world, with people not supporting you when you're not supposed to be worried about them. Don't worry about them. Be tunnel vision, narrow-minded on what it is that the Lord called you to do. Everything will fall into place at that point. So I'll leave you all with that today. As always, I'm praying for you all. Thank you to everyone who likes, comments, and subscribes. If you haven't subscribed, I do encourage you to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified of these videos as I continue to upload them. I always like to extend the invitation for you to join the Promised Land Mentorship, those of you who are seeking godly mentorship, so that way you can get biblically sound, and I like to say biblically sound, guidance and mentorship on your journey into the Promised Land. And for those of you who just want a quick step-by-step roadmap to access, okay, where am I on this journey to the Promised Land and what do I need to do next, like right now, there's a quick PDF for you to download in the description below. As always, I'm praying for you all, and I'll chat with you all in the next message.